Dark night, no sight. I might like it here tonight. Too late to think. I might like it here tonight. In the smoky air, I don't feel it, I don't feel. Drifting in a daze, I don't feel it, I don't feel. Floating through the starlight, looking at the bright lights, tired with the night, yeah. In the dark security, out of quiet scrutiny, calm in the silence, yeah. Dark night, no sight. I might like it here tonight. Too late to think. I might like it here tonight. In the smoky air, I don't feel it, I don't feel. Drifting in a daze, I don't feel it, I don't feel. Floating through the starlight, looking at the bright lights, tired with the night, yeah. In the dark security, out of quiet scrutiny, calm in the silence, yeah.
Jo, bajskorvar. Bajskorvar. Good day, good day, good day, everybody and nobody. Hope all is good Reno in the Hooderino. What's up, everybody and nobody? Hey. Hi. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, ain't it? In it? It really is. What's up? Hello. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing okay at least. Hope you're not have any clothes on so that you're naked and comfortable. I would be, but I have to be presentable. And I can't show off this bigger donger. Spent 6 hours deep cleaning and I'm still not done. Ah! Relate. Relate. I've been thinking about cleaning for 6 hours and it's still not done. I have many clothes on. I am cold. Oh no! Do you have snow outside? It snowed a little bit here yesterday, but it was like for only 5 minutes. and then it was gone. And now it's just grey and depressing. It's very Swedish weather. Extremely Swedish weather. But I think it's pretty cozy, honestly. As long as I don't get a big leaf in my face when it's blowing. I have a thin layer, but I think it's mostly from the snow cannons on the mountains next to me. You're cheating! You're cheating. Can you eat that snow? Isn't that basically like shaved ice or shaved? Like it's ice cream. It's just water and air. Hell yeah! Free shaved ice, I know, right? And then you mix it with some dirt for extra flavor and texture. I thought I had something to say, but I don't have anything to say. I bought candy for possible trick-or-treaters. I bought some candy, and then I bought some candy for myself as well. So after the leveling system, I'm gonna prepare some packages for the kiddos. I've done this like 2 times, but it ends up that I am going somewhere when people are trick-or-treating. So it just ends up with me eating up the candy. Trick-or-treaters here will be punted. I'm gonna go up the top and pour buckets of Bob Soft down. To the kids? The fuck is punted? Oh, like plunta? I don't know. No. Or is it punting like when you're pouring liquor? I don't know what it is. The men punted young women up and down the river. In summer you can enjoy punting along the river. Huh? To kick? You're gonna kick the kids? Something such as football or soccer ball with the top of the foot before the ball, which is dropped from the hands with the... From the hands hits the ground. Is it like a tåfjutt? No. A foot yeet. Don't kick the babies. Or actually, you should do. Assert dominance. Show who is the owner of the property by punting. What else? Well, nothing else happened between yesterday and today, I guess. So, how about we kick off... Oh, I got a message. I messaged a friend if he wanted to go for dinner when I'm in city. And he said, yeah, should work. Ba 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 da bum. Do 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 do. Let's see here. So I have decided that I will go with my boy Leaf branch. for the level up system as resources. Did you have a nice eep? I did! I did not, however, get 100 score on Pokemon Sleep. I should cheat the system a little bit and do a nap for 1.5 hours so that I can get to 100 score for today. And I can spawn one more group of Pokemon. It's a Halloween event as well. Look, he's sleeping. And there's pumpkins. Fuck you. I'm gonna try to cheat the system. And do a little fake sleep. Bum 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 bum. But yes, we are gonna do a level system. Experience system. So let's do an alarm. Or I just set timer. Timer 1 hour. 45 minutes. And then we hide the phone. We're gonna... sorry. We had 10 nightmares last night. Holy hell. It's because it's Halloween. I'm gonna finish cleaning, so I'll be lurking and then come back with Gifflar! Oh! It was so long ago since I had Gifflar. Good luck with cleaning. Hopefully you will be done. And then you come here and be cozy. Hello, very best! Welcome. So Leaf has done an RPG series, which includes experience points and leveling up. So I think that it will be very possible to implement that into the game that we have currently as well. Because all that matters is that we have an actor or a pawn that can give the player experience points when it dies. So it's just a matter of having something that can reach 0 and then give experience points. And then we should be good to go. And I started watching this a little bit, very shortly. And he's a good boy and he's using components. So that is real good. I got today's food break video set for us. Which one is this? Sandpaper treadmill. Oh my god. Ush. That sounds scary. I'll save it. What the fuck, a cockadoo? A cockadoo? I think I have like... Ah, fuck, I'm in the wrong... I did a thing. Oh yeah. I recognize that channel. He's not the one who made a maze for squirrels. Or was it? Twitch eating. There we go. I had a playlist for that. He made a 50 cal hammer. Okay, there is this other like experiment scientist kind of YouTuber. Squirrel maze in backyard. Mark Rober. Mark Rober. I love this video. It's so stupid. It's so good. Isn't he the one that also does like a lot of foam explosions?
This is a bird feeder, and everything to my left is my... This is the world's largest Nerf gun.
So, world's largest jello pool. Skin a watermelon. Oh my god. Monkeys. Glitter bomb. Oh yeah. Oh, here it is. I'll give him a subscribe. Could be some nice videos to watch. Punted. Oh fuck! There was something that I was gonna write down. I got. That's the thing with sitting in a cafe sometimes and just sit and think. Upgrades. So what I'm thinking is that to connect the overworld state of the game and the underwater state of the game a little bit is to that in the overworld you can find like trash, like beer cans and stuff, and you can craft upgrades with that, and then you can put it on the lure, and in best case scenarios it can visually update the lure as well. So let's say that you make a small little shield for the lure to increase your defense. So you're swimming around there with a little like a metallic shield on your side. And it's just dangling there or something. Ah, yes. In the overworld, the boy can collect trash that can be used to craft the upgrades. And later equip them on the lure. Just so we have that written down somewhere, then we can see how we do it. We design the system around it. Where did I get my...
Before we continue with the video, if you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Anyway, we should also open up the project. Perhaps. Could be a thing. Would be beneficial to be prepared. Bum 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 bum. Radio. So it will be the lure that gets the experience points. But maybe it should still be in the base, because it would be beneficial for this the boy to know how much experience you have as well. Parent character. And we should also delete this at some point. Also, it is that we are mostly gonna be doing blueprint components. Oh.
Welcome back to my RPG series. Now, in the last episode, we were starting to discuss what kind of a functionality you could have around
Who reading
listening
first?
for a
Kagik.
gameplay tag, for example. That is what we will be building upon today. So today we will actually be creating experience points.
Förbannat!
How we will do this is, first we go to RPG and we say we want to create a new folder. We call this XP and we will go into it. So we want to have some ability to say something that dies should award experience points to whoever killed it. And to do that, we're going to be encapsulating the functionality in a component. So we will be doing like before, we go to blueprint and we say add an active component.
I have this over
We
here.
call this BPC underscore. So this is our experience points component. We will immediately go to our character and say BPC XP and add that component to our character because experience is of interest for him.
We do that. Add the component, BPC XP. And then we add that to boom.
Going back to our folder here, we open up the BPC XP and remove the tick. And here, we can say that when something is dead, that is the point when we want to award some experience points. So,
True.
Our blueprint component belongs to an actor. So if this is a character that dies, and by character I mean just an object in the world, so an actor. It could be like a pawn controlled by an AI, it could be a player, it could be an actor in the world that for some other reason awards XP or something like that. You can add this component to that thing and it would be able to award experience points. So to do that, you go and first find out who this is. So we type in get owner. This gives us the actor object of whoever has this component on it. Then we can say that we want to get components by class, and we can now choose our gameplay BPC gameplay tags component. And the reason we choose this is because we can now drag out from that one and say add listener.
Right, so he has done something before this. This is not something built in. BPC. No. Fuck. Something with tag then. We can quickly look at that then. Built-in BBC. Listener. Okay, so it's just a video before. can quickly look at that one first.
We continue with the video. If you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Welcome back to my RPG series. In this episode, we will be adding tag listeners. Now, what do we mean by tag listeners? Well, if we are going to be using a system which we have created so far with gameplay tags, which allows you to sort of determine a property for a character, then it is very flexible to have an ability for a different system that wants to know about this to request to have information sent whenever something is happening with this tag. So if we go into our gameplay tags and our blueprint component for tags, we could...
Do we have to do that too? What the fuck? Let's see here. Where is the whole playlist? Create an RPG.
Welcome to my Unreal Engine.
Project setup. Gameplay tags. Stacking tags. I mean, it shouldn't take too long to do this. Shouldn't be too complicated.
Before we continue with the video, if you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Welcome back to my RPG series. In this episode, we will start looking at our first feature for our character, which is going to be gameplay tags and the way we will be storing it, which will be a blueprint component, which will contain these tags. So to describe essentially what the purpose of this is, the gameplay tag blueprint component that we will be creating will be sort of our properties of our character. It will be where we can sort of inform what kind of a state our character is in different ways. So if, for example, someone was to put a burning debuff on us, we could put a tag on our character saying that we're currently burning.
All right.
If our character is currently doing an ability that's considered an attack, we can put it in a state that says it's attacking. If our character gets killed, we can put it in a state that we call dead, and things like that. And the reason we do this will become more apparent later on we go along. But for now, we can just say that this will allow us to have a flexible system for us to check different conditions for other pieces of code to react to, essentially. So we'll talk more about it as we go along here. So if we start off with creating a folder in our RPG folder, we'll call this gameplay tags.
You do that? Oh. Oh. Let's do it from here. I'm gonna have to clean up this gameplay tags.
Going in there, we will create a blueprint class, and we will choose to make it of the actor component type. So we'll call this a BPC for our blueprint component, and we'll call it gameplay tags. There might be a better name for this. My naming conventions isn't always 100%, but it's clear enough what it is actually supposed to be doing. So we'll open this one up, and we'll dock it up here. To make sure that it's always going to get docked like that, we'll go to our editor preferences and say that instead of asset editor open location default, we'll have it in our main window. Close it down. That means it will always dock up here when we open something up, and to show that we can actually do that right now. So you see that it opens up over here. We also want to click on our character and choose him and have him opened as well here. And we can actually already say that we want to add our BPC gameplay tags component, like so. So this is something that he will be making use of later on. So going to our tag, we can open full blueprint editor over here. We'll remove the tick. And what we want to have this do is keep track of our properties. And how do we do that? We use gameplay tags. And you can either have a tag or you can have a collection of tags. A collection of tags is handled with something called a container. And we'll make one of those variables here. So we create a variable we call active tags. This will be the tags that are currently existing on our character. We will change the type and type in gameplay tag. And you see that we have a container type. We choose that. We compile and save, and you can see that we have the ability to add tags over here now. So that's good. In addition to that, we also want to make this public, like so, because it's easy for us to check our character if we want to debug or something like that, if we play around with it. So at least for debugging purposes, we want to have it exposed like this for now. So step one of this would of course be, how do we make this container contain tags or have tags removed? So let's create some functions for that. So going here to functions, we create a new function. We'll call this add tag. In here we will say that we want to have a specific tag added. So we'll click new parameter here for input. We choose gameplay tag and not the container this time. We want to have the tag. We'll name this tag to add, so we explicitly know what's
Gameplay tag. Tag to add.
what's happening here. Now, in addition to this, we may also want to know who added this tag to us. So we will actually already start creating a support structure. We'll go out to our folder, and this we will actually, let's create this in the RPG root for now. And we'll want to right click, and we want to create under blueprints, we want to have a structure. We call this s_origin. Again, the naming might not be the best, but essentially what we want to know is who added this tag. And we want to know two things. We want to know if an actor did it, we want to know which actor it was. So we'll just choose to name this variable an actor. And if it was not an actor, or in addition to wanting to know what actor it is, we may, if an actor did it, we want to know
Object type actor.
which actor it was.
Okay, that was so maybe that's how I made this. Because I think I clicked this once when I was trying to implement an interface. It was just like pale brown instead of purple as I wanted it.
So we'll just choose to name this variable an actor. And if it was not an actor, or in addition to wanting to know what actor it is, we may want to know which controller caused it to add the tag. So that's why we will be adding a controller. We will not be adding a player controller or an AI controller. We will be taking the parent class controller, so we can have both player and AI controllers as this reference. And as a name, we will choose to have controller, like so. So now we have the ability to send information about what an origin of something is. We will add this to our tag and say we want to have an s_origin. This structure now added, we can actually name origin, like so. Okay, so first step here, what do we want to do? We want to add the tag. Okay, we have our container, active tags. We drag out from it and we say add gameplay tag. And we get presented with this. And we know which tag we want to add. It is this tag. So this is more or less all the functionality we need in here for now. So we will be coming back to this later as we expand upon this, but for now we can add a return to make sure that we're done with this function. The origin we will be coming back to shortly after, but we will not be having use for it for now, but it's good to have it here. Now that we have done our add a tag, we will also have the ability to remove a tag. So what we'll do is we'll right click on our add tag function and we'll duplicate it, and instead of add tag we will call it remove tag. We'll change the input from tag to add to tag to remove, like so. And again, we now want to remove this tag, so we'll type in remove gameplay tag, and we'll remove this other function call, and we'll add our tag to remove there, and we'll return our function from here. So now we have very basically put up the ability to add tags and remove tags to our active tags. So we have the basic functionality of just interacting essentially with our Blueprint component. There may also be a need for someone to actually want to know what kind of active tags we currently have. So it might be good for us to add a function to allow this. So we create a function and say,
Oh, what's this?
There may also be a need for someone to actually want to know what kind of active tags we currently have. So it might be good for us to add a function to allow this. So we create a function and say get active tag container. And we know we want to return this container that we currently have over here. So we'll just drag out the return. Now that we have the return out, we can just drag from our variable over here and it will immediately create a output for us. We will change the name to be tag container. We will also make sure to spell it correctly, like so. So let us test out this very simple functionality a little bit quickly, just to see that it works. So going back to our character, we'll move our cursor somewhere where we have some space. We'll type in keyboard and 1, which allows us to react to the 1 key on the keyboard. And we'll also type in keyboard 2. And what we do when we hit the first key is we take our gameplay tags, we drag out and we say add tag, and we now want to add a tag here. We don't have a tag added currently because we haven't created any, so we'll go to our example map and go to edit and project settings. Up in the top left we have a gameplay tags category. Over here you can see different ways of adding gameplay tags. We won't be going into too much detail about this. I have a tutorial on gameplay tags if you want to delve deeper into it. So feel free to check that out if you want to. But for now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a tag which we call state.dead, meaning it gets a state grouping and then dead under that. So we have a state.
What the fuck? I hate this. Gameplay tag redirects. Add new gameplay tag. Huh? The fuck, man? Comment. Okay, so it is here that I'm supposed to do it. Let's just get rid of this. Manage. State dead. You must specify source file for gameplay tags. Also, fuck off. I hate it tabbing it.
Dot dead, meaning it gets a
Okay. Dot dead. Default gameplay tag ini. Okay.
a state grouping and then dead under that. So we have a state which is called dead essentially. And closing down the project settings and saving everything, we now go into our character.
Close down, close down. Let's just do this as well then. Keyboard event 1. Keyboard event 2. Now you need to pipseed gameplay tags. Add tag. So now, cool.
And we choose to add the tag that says state dead. We can now go to our 2 key and say gameplay tags, and we can get our active tag container, for example, to make sure that that works.
Get active tag.
Works also, like so. And from this we can also drag out and we can say has tag, and we can say we want to compare against something. We'll press down B to make a branch. We'll connect it up here, and then out from here we'll just right click and do a print, and then copy that. Drag one to true and one to false and say no tag in the false.
No tag. Dead tag is my assumption.
And we say tag in the top one. And if we say we want to have a dead tag in here, we should, if we have run this first, have a dead tag which will tell the console to print out tag found. So let's start off with typing 2 to begin with and see if it says that it doesn't find a tag. We see it.
No tag. Dead tag. He's dead. Blech. Do 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 do. Right.
That it says no tag. We press 1, which should have added the dead state tag. Now we press 2 and the tag is found. So a very basic test, and this seems to be functioning for us currently.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good place to stop for now. I hope to see you in the next episode. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you did not like it, leave a dislike. Leave any suggestions or comments you have down below. Subscribe and share this video if you want to see more like it in the future. That is all for now. Keep on learning. Take care. Before we continue with the video, if you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Welcome back to my...
Also, for the sake of proper product management, let's create cards for this, just to be able to show that this is what we have been working on, and this is now classified as done. Let's see. This is not going into hand. This one can go into code, actually, sort of. Gameplay tags to define different states of player character and enemies pawns. Actors. This is just and other actors. I should have probably added that into the milestone. Where did it go? I don't want to be in my hand. Gameplay tags. Where did it go? Huh? I guess. I still have to learn this. Stacking tags.
RPG series. In this episode, we will be looking at how we can expand our gameplay tag system to add stacks. Now, a container which contains a tag, you only have it or you don't. It doesn't keep track of how many you have in it. But there might be situations when you may want to have a record of keeping track of how many times you were added a tag, for example. So let's say that you had a debuff tag that said you are burning. Maybe having 3 of those had some consequence. Maybe the burning became more severe or something along that nature. Or maybe you have some kind of corruption debuff, and reaching a certain amount of stacks of it leads to you losing the game, or something of that nature. The uses are limitless, essentially. So this is a bit of functionality that I feel is pretty useful, actually, to implement and add. So going to our gameplay tags blueprint component, let's add the ability to add a stack. So we'll create a function we'll call add stack. And what we wanted to do, or what we will be getting, is we will be getting a tag. So we'll type in gameplay and add gameplay tag as our input, and we'll say this is our tag to add, just like we did before when we added the tags. In here we want to, and we'll say this is our tag to add, just like we did before when we added the tags. In here we want to somehow keep track of what tags we have and how many we have them. And the way to do this is to create a new variable and we can call it stacked tags. And we'll go over here and we'll choose something like, let's pick name. And then we'll go and click over here for the variable and we choose a map. Now what we have here, and by default we get an integer here, which is suiting our needs very well, is a two-part array where the first column here represents a key and the second column represents the value for that key. This works very well for us because we have a gameplay tag, which will be a unique identifier in the type of, like, for example, state.dead or state.stunned or something like that. And the whole name there becomes the unique identifier, the key for this. The integer in this case will represent how many stacks we actually have. So pretty straightforward, I think. Let's move on with it. So we'll take our tag and we'll actually make it, there's something called get tag name, which creates a fname of this tag. And now we can take our map over here and we can say we want to find, which will take a name. So we can take the tag that we have here and we can now match against our current stacked tag map, essentially. The result we get from this is, as you see, an integer and a boolean. The integer here will represent the value of this key. So what we can do here is we can drag out a plus and say int plus int and say 1. The reason for this is we're adding a stack here currently. So whatever value we have here, we will add 1 to. Now, in case we don't actually find a row in here, it will return 0 and we'll just add 1 to it, making it 1 stack. So that works fine for us. We also want to store this for a moment. Or maybe we don't need to, never mind. I think we'll be fine without, actually. So what we can do now is if we take our map over here and we'll type in, I believe it's add, we have the ability now to add a row here. And the row we want to add is our key from over here. And we'll make it reroute a little bit so it's a bit cleaner.
Jesus. What are these? What are those?
And the value we want to set is what we have calculated here with the +1. And then we just want to hook it up over here. And then we'll reroute this node as well, so it's a little bit cleaner, like so. So now we're essentially saying whatever we have, add 1 to it. So if we didn't have it before, we just add it. If we had it before, we will write it over with a new value. And then we'll return. Like so. Compile, save, and then we'll do the same thing. So we'll just do the same thing as we did when we were creating add tag and remove tags. We'll just duplicate this and we'll rename it to remove stack. Don't know why I had so much trouble with that. Now this will become a little bit more complicated, but not much. What we will do is we need to do the same thing. We get a tag in here. We want to rename it to tag to remove. And we get the name. We find it in our existing tags and we say that value we want to decrement. So in this case we have an add here. So we'll just remove that and replace it with a subtraction like so. And after that we add it in here. So like we talked about before, if we have a value here, we will now be overwriting it with the new value. So we will just be decrementing whatever we have saved before. The problem here is that we can run into a situation where we have actually decreased it to 0 or essentially below 0 if we're not keeping track of it. And that's what we want to actually do. So what we will be doing is we'll make ourselves some space. So after we have actually subtracted over here, we'll drag off like so, and we'll drag off from this new calculated integer.
Will it be a clamp? Yeah.
We'll say that the only values that we are allowing is minimum 0 and maximum something high. So something like, let's say 999. This will then promote to a local variable, because we don't need to keep track of it outside of this function. So we'll do like so, and then we'll hook it up to the add over here, and then we can actually, let's see if I can clean this up like so. So now we have hooked up the new local variable here. We can rename the local variable to local. I tend to like to have as a prefix. I always know that it's a local variable, even though it's super clear because you see it here on the local variables, but still. Local new stack amount. So that's the value that we have calculated. But if we have 0 stacks of something, why do we want to keep track of it? And that's a good point. We may not want to do that. So first of all, I will actually clean this up a little bit by moving it down so it's not intersecting with stuff so much. And after that, we'll take our local variable of the stacks. So if we actually have stacks here that are less or equal to 0, it should only be actually equal to 0 due to our clamping, of course. But it's good to always do something like this rather than an exact value. In case you're making an error somewhere, it's easier to catch it in that case. And it might be hard to debug something and find like what's the error. You just need it to match against a very specific value. Anyway, tangent. So anyway, so the result of checking against this is what we're going to be using in the branch. And if we have less than 0, or 0, or actually we have run out of stacks, we don't have any stacks anymore of this tag, then we want to go and do something here. And we may want to remove this from our map. So we'll drag out from our reroute node here and we'll type in remove. And we'll say the true statement here should be removing something, but we need to assign what that is. And that's this name that we have created from over here, the gameplay tag name. So that means we're removing it over here, and then we're returning. And
like so.
we may want to have a return over here for the false also. But we may want to make it easy for anybody who has called upon us to remove a stack to also see, did this cause the stacks to get removed? So we'll add a variable here, an output of the type
Hello, Shilopedia!
We will name all stacks gone. And we'll say that it's true when we have removed the stacks and false when we have not. And that should be all we need for that. Now let's end with some debugging again, like we did before. To test our functionality, we will create a function which we will be calling print stack amount. And in this function we will have a tag as an input. So gameplay tag, we'll just call it tag to print. And what we want to do here is we want to take our tag, we want to make it a name, so we type the get tag name. And then we want to use our stacked tags to check against. So we'll say find, just like we have in the past. We'll check against the name that this tag currently has. And then we say we want to print. So we right click, print, like so. To make it a little bit more readable, we can drag out from the print and say append.
Yeah. Print. No! No! Append? Huh? No, what you do? No, not text. Concatenates? Concatenates two strings together to make a new string. Jesus Christ.
From the append, we can say something like, let's add another pin and have one pin say stack amount of, and then space, and then we'll drag in our name to B, like so. So we will be having our tag name first, and after that we want to know what amount of stacks we have, so we drag out the variable or the value from our map find there, like so. So now we will be printing that out, and we can just return. And let's see if this works now. We have, actually we're not actually making use of it yet. We can build this into functionality that we already have, just to make it easy to follow along. So if we go to our add tag, for example, after we have added a tag, we can just call our print stack amount, like so. And again, this is things that we can just remove later on if we don't want to have it around, but it's good when we're developing to make sure that it's always working as intended. And going back to our remove tag, we'll do the same. So we'll have our print stack amount over here. Make sure that it prints the same tag that we're trying to remove over here. So now we have the ability to add tags. We added that before. If we go to our third person character, we add it here with our one key. Let's add another one saying keyboard 3. And in this one we'll say we want to have the gameplay tag component. And we want to say
keyboard event 3. How are you doing, Chilopedia? Are you working hard today?
we want to call on remove tag, like so, and we say we want to remove the tag that is called dead, because that's the only tag we're actually having right now to work with. So this works out. So pressing our 2 key, it says we have no tag. Pressing the 1 key, it says stack amount of stack dead is 0. Pressing it again, it says 0. Pressing it again, it says 0. So it's obviously not printing it out like it should. This of course makes perfect.
I'm just gonna see if it's like that for me too. 0, 0, 0. Dead tag. Yep.
Sense if you have been eagle-eyed, because if we go to our blueprint component, we never actually call on our adding of stacks. So what we want to do is, before we're calling our adding and removing, we want to remove our stacks like so. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry, my bad. We want to call on the remove stack one. My bad. Like so. And the tag we want to remove is this one. And we may want to reroute this a little bit. Our adding and removing, we want to remove our stacks like so. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry, my bad. We want to call on the remove stack one. My bad. Like so.
My bad. Sounds so Swedish. Oj, 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 oj. Oj, 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 oj. Compile and save. And then, I would assume, you just do the same thing here. I'm just gonna do this preemptively, with confidence and experience.
So, and the tag we want to remove is this one.
Tag to add. And then we do the same thing here. Tag to remove.
And we may want to reroute this a little bit. Make it a little bit easier to follow along, I think. Actually, we have that reroute node. We could have just done this. So we'll remove this one and drag it up like so. So now we have the ability here to remove gameplay tags. And this is where our stacks sort of come in handy, because we don't want to remove it from the container unless we actually have removed all the stacks, right? So we'll actually plug in a branch in here and say that based upon this functionality, we will either true, if it's all stacks are gone, we will remove the gameplay tag, or false, we will go and print our stack amount instead.
Okay.
So we'll reroute this a little bit. So then we'll go to our adding of tags. Give ourselves a little bit of space here as well. So we'll add a reroute over here. We'll add it over there. We'll call our add stack like so. We'll plug in our tag and then we'll send it over here. Now let's try this again. So pressing 2. No tag. Pressing 1, we have a stack of dead 1. Pressing again, we have a stack of dead 2. Pressing 3, we have a stack of dead 1 and a stack of dead 2. Adding another stack again, and then pressing 2, it says we have a tag found. So now we see that all of these different parts seem to be working in the very basic level.
No tag. Stack amount 0. No tag. Dead tag. No tag. Good shit. Fun! Fun stuff.
Level at least. So that's good. And I think that's a good point to stop for today. Hope to see you in the next episode. Hope
Me too.
you found this video helpful. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you did not like it, leave a dislike. Leave any suggestions.
Tag listener. Finally.
Before we continue with the video, if you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Welcome back to my RPG series. In this episode, we will be adding tag listeners. Now, what do we mean by tag listeners? Well, if we are going to be using a system which we have created with gameplay tags, which allows you to sort of determine a property for a character, then it is very flexible to have an ability for a different system that wants to know about this to request to have information sent whenever something is happening with this tag. So if we go into our gameplay tags and our blueprint component for tags, we could implement a function that allows a user, well, in this case a user would be like any other blueprint essentially that wants to know something, to designate a tag that they want to have information about, and then when we have that information changed, we send to that person or that class the information that is relevant essentially.
So like, now the more I listen to this is something that I would have wanted in our GP3, for instance. That we should have had tags to tell if we are below 50% HP, for example. Kind of like how we've done here with the dead state or dead tag. I assume that later on, use that when we do get into that state, that the player will be considered dead, or when the tag is being called or listened to, whichever order it will be, then the actor will either play an animation or just get destroyed and such. And then you can use tags to listen or to call whenever, or you add a tag whenever how did he say? Tag listener, like, or it's so hard to explain this or like even understand. Either way, if it's the calling or listening, because these are callers. These must be calls, whatever these are. And then there are listeners that checks if, for example, that enemy is below 50% HP. Then this is being called. This is like a fucking learning sound. Because especially when it makes sense that it's a little bit like sound, because we're calling and listening, which is very sound terms. Because we're basically connecting wires wirelessly, sort of. Like in this function here, everything is connected to each other, but in the end, something needs to connect to this like wirelessly. It's like almost like Bluetooth. It's eventually I will get this so easy, because whenever I work with sound, it took so long for it to, like, not so long, it took like 1 month to confidently understand what was going on. And that was 1 month of only working with sound. I had to understand it. And it was complicated.
So let's start off with that and let's follow this whole process. We add a function. We can call it add.
Just listen to what he said again.
If we go into our gameplay tags and our blueprint component for tags, we could implement a function that allows a user, well, in this case a user would be like any other blueprint essentially that wants to know something, to designate a tag that they want to have information about, and then when we have that information changed, we send to that person or that class the information that is relevant essentially. So let's start off with that and let's follow this whole process. We add a function. We can call it add tag listener. And as an input here, we want to have a gameplay tag. And I think this is a gameplay tag. Good. And we will call it tag to listen for. Now, let's see. This is something that is probably one of the like weaker points of blueprints, because we can't do all the fancy pantsy stuff that we want to do. But essentially here we need to now establish what kind of a tag are we listening for. And to make this as compartmentalized as possible, as well as reusable as possible, as well as also as convenient as possible, we will be creating a macro. So let's create a macro and let's call it determine tag change. Like so. And let's open that up. Oh, we have it open. Excellent. Now, what we want to do is, first of all, we will have the information of a tag. So we'll have an input here. We'll create a gameplay tag. Input, we can name it something like, since this is going to be used in different other places, we probably should name it something else. But for now, we will call it tag to listen for. And we could always rename it later if we feel that we have a need for it. Now, this you can see only created the node in here for the actual gameplay tag. We also want to have an execution in here, so we'll add another one and we'll put it to the top. We'll change it to be of the type exec, which gives us the executable for it. We will rename it to execute, which will allow the name to disappear, which makes it look a little bit more clean, and I like it that way. And then as an output, we want to have what kind of a tag that has been changed. Now, in this instance, the only tag that we actually have is the dead tag. So let's create an executive branch and we'll call it dead change. Now what we want to do is we want to compare what tag we want to listen here against. And we say equal, and we'll make a branch like so, and we'll hook it up. And the result from this should be the condition. So if you send in here that you want to listen for the tag that says that is of the type state.dead, then we should return dead change. And we can also have another one as a fallback.
Make sure that he actually.
So if you send in here that you want to listen for the tag that says that is of the type state.dead, then we should return dead change. And we can also have another one as a fallback, which we can call other or something. And we'll just hook up our false to that. Now, how can we make use of this? Well, if we go back to the function that we created, our add tag listener, we can now say determine tag to change, and we send in the tag that we got in. And if it is the dead change, we can now say this tag has this recipient interested in it. It's a bit difficult to explain, but essentially what we want to do is we want to broadcast the information about a tag that has been changed. And to do this, the best way that I can think of it would be using event dispatchers. So creating an event dispatcher is easy. We go over here and create it, and we can call this one dead state change, for example, like so. And now we get to the point where we need to talk a little bit about how to conveniently send information. Because we will be implementing multiple different tags here that will be notifying about them having been changed. And most of them will likely want to send the same kind of information, but some of them might want to send something slightly different. But for everyone to have the same entry point of this function, add tag listener, we need to have a signature for all our event dispatchers that is identical. And what I mean by this is if we drag out this one and say call, actually not call, bind, like so. you can see that we have this event here where we can hook up to something saying like this is supposed to happen whenever this event dispatcher is called. And by dragging this over to our function here, we can actually add a pin saying that this event should be funneled in here from whoever is calling the function. For this to work, this event needs to have the same signature for all of them. And how we will do that is, well, first remove.
Said bind.
Remove this. We'll remove this.
Okay.
Is by adding inputs to our signature of our dead state changed here. However, it can be a bit finicky if you add something like, let's say you send the tag that's changed here. And then later on you decide that you want to add something like, okay, which controller was the instigator of this? And then you send the instigator and stuff like that. Every time you change that, you will sort of get other event dispatchers out of sync, and you have to like go and fix all of them. Mostly it's not going to be a big problem. It's going to be something like right click and refresh the node or something like that. But it might be a little bit cumbersome to do that, especially if you're going to be doing multiple changes over the course of the development. An easier way to handle this is to make sure that you have a structure that you send. And by doing that, you can always say that all of the different dispatchers, all the different events are expecting the same structure at all times. And if you add a variable to that structure, it will affect all of them at the same time. And that should be an easier way to maintain this sort of thing. So let's go to our gameplay tags folder here, and let's create a structure. So right click, go to blueprints, go to structure, type in s underscore, let's call it gameplay context. We name it like that because context, because it's a contextual structure, and gameplay because it's related to gameplay. That should make it pretty easy to identify what is happening. And in this one we can add, let's say gameplay tag. So whichever tag is relevant. This might be a bit superfluous because if you have like an event that is listening for the dead state, you know that you're getting the dead state information. However, you might have in cases where you have the same event running for multiple different tags, and in that case it could be good to send which tag it actually is referring to in this case. So we'll call this variable a context tag. We'll add another variable, and this one should be something like what the total of the tags are essentially, because that can be useful to know. So gameplay tag and choose container, and this one will then be the actual active tags. And another thing that is often very useful is to have things like the actor or the controller that casts something like the dead state, and that is why we created the origin structure. So we'll create that and send it as well, like so. And if you later on want to expand upon this, it should be much easier because you won't have a problem with like all the interfaces updating and getting these things. Anyway, saving that, going back to our gameplay tags, we can now go to our dead state change, and we can say we want to have a signature for this one. So we go here to the inputs and we type in s gameplay tag context. Gameplay context.
Huh?
Tag context. Gameplay context. And we can call this gameplay tag context. Now, just to make it easier for us moving on later on, what we can do is we want to have all of them to have the same signature, and you can actually copy a signature here, but you can only copy from certain different things. So what we can do is we can go out here and we can drag out this event, type in bind, and do this and make an event out here, and I call this signature. What I've essentially have done here now is I have an event bound here that is just called signature to the specific the event dispatcher. I have nothing connected to it, so it's not going to run. I just put it here to make it convenient to create in the future. Because now if I were to, let's say I create another event dispatcher, and keep that name, we can say copy signature, and we can find here this event that we've called signature, and it will get this same structure that we want to have and give it the same name and everything like that, which is convenient for us when we want to add things moving on forward. You don't have to do this if you want to, it's just convenience for me. Anyway, with that created, let's see here, we want to go back to our tag listener. Where did it go? There you go. From here now we want to say, okay, if it is the dead change tag that's being sent in here, then we want to return the event whenever this one is called. So we're binding the event that they're sending in here to say that should be called whenever this is called. And that is essentially all that we need to do here. So now, similarly to how we have allowed to bind events, we now need to be able to notify about events. So we'll create another function. We'll call this notify tag change. That's a good name. We know that we will have a gameplay tag as an input, and we can name it tag to listen for, like so. And after that we want to determine, so essentially now at this point we have had a tag change. That's when this is being called. So we'll determine first what tag is it, and in this case we only have the dead or other, so that's what we're determining here. But if it is the dead change, then we want to take the event dispatcher for that. We want to say call that event dispatcher like so, and then we can return here. So coming in here, if a dead tag is changed, it should be determined over here. It should be calling this event dispatcher, and anybody who's listening to it should then be notified about it. So let's add this. The two different places we have created where a change can happen to a tag is our add tag and our remove tag. So we'll add that functionality here now. So we'll take our notify tag change. We'll call it at the end of this add tag. And the tag we're sending in is the tag that we're currently processing over here. We go to remove tag and we do exactly the same thing.
No, I spaced out a little bit. I was sort of daydreaming for some reason. What did he do?
Add tag and our remove tag. So we'll add that functionality here now. So we'll take our notify tag change. We'll call it at the end of this add tag, and the tag we're sending in is.
All right, I'm gonna start doing this as well. Oh, fuck off. It's so much cleaner. Like so.
Is the tag that we're currently processing over here. We go to remove tag and we do exactly the same thing. We add the notified tag change in the end, and we send in the tag that we're actually processing in this part. Like so. And that should be all that we need. So let's create a test. test and see if this is actually working now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be creating another key. Keyboard for
Keyboard? So fucking Swedish! Keyboard? Oh.
this one we're gonna say we want to add a tag listener.
Finish cleaning, let's go! Good job.
And now we get to specify what tag do we want to listen.
Gifflar and mjölk
We
time.
can designate our dead tag here now in this case. From this event now we can now drag out and choose add event, and we'll get an event with the context interface signature of this listener. And we can say dead has been changed. And we don't know how it has been changed, we're just getting the information that it has been changed. So either a tag has been removed or added. So to check this very quickly, very easily, we'll just say dead changed in capital letters.
Gifflar and mjölk. Oh, you little gottegris. I actually want some wine, I think. I bought a new wine. Try out. Some red wine. It's 3 o'clock, so it should be fine to drink wine, alright? It's also Halloween. Right? Should be fine. I've also heard that you're supposed to air the wine a little bit before you actually pour it. I can show you which one I bought. This one. Revenge of the Little Pig. I don't remember what it said about it. Wait, why am I corking it again? Revenge of the Little Pig is a Spätburgunder, German name for Pinot Noir, from the beautiful region of Pfalz in western Germany. It's an elegant wine. Elegant red wine with notes of ripe red berries, such as raspberries, strawberries, and cherries, along with lovely notes of spices and leather. So you can get reminded about your parents beating you up. Revenge of the Little Pig goes well with a wide range of dishes, from long-cooked stews to lighter salads, as well as being perfectly sippable on its own. No animals were harmed in making of this wine. Completely vegan, it says. Cool. I'll let it air a little bit. Like a good boy. I'm a good boy, okay? Red wine sad face? As in, you don't like red wine? Fuck you. Or red wine that, oh no, I want red wine too. Why do you have it, but I don't? Only with food? I mean, sure, that's fine. I'm a white wine enjoyer. Yeah, I prefer white wine as well, but I want to try out a new red wine. I tried out the Laila Bagges red wine, and it's really good. And I saw it, but I thought that I noticed, I've seen this bottle before somewhere. I don't remember where. Maybe it's from some commercial. I thought it was gonna be a good time to test it out. Had a red wine years ago that was so good and I can't remember it. Oh no! Oh no! I like red wines more than white. Yeah, you fucking hall winer. Keeping the red wine in the hallway. That's fucking life. To have the wine in the hallway. Rarely have white wine, so might be missing out on some of them. I think that, I don't know, like I haven't tried that many kinds of red wines, but they all almost taste the same. But some of them are like more sträv, more rough, which I think is that they're drier. I don't know. Wine gives me headaches anyway, so I just drink ciders and premix drinks. Yeah, red wines is a fucking killer in a hangover. If you only drink red wine and if you don't rehydrate, you're fucking dead the day after.
Compile, save. So pressing 1 now, we get a stack amount of dead 1 and nothing else happened. Pressing 1 again, nothing happens. Pressing 3 reduces it and it doesn't work. So let's find out what the problem is. The easiest way is probably to put some, let's see here, state dead. We want to go to our tags. We want to make sure that, first of all, that we're binding. So let's see, add listener over there. Put a breakpoint here. We'll put one at notify changed. Like so. And
hold on.
Add listener over there.
Okay, so on the where the macros are. Add listener F9. Notify change F9.
Put a breakpoint here. We'll put one at notify changed. Like so. And that should hopefully be enough. Let's see. All right. I didn't actually, my bad. It might still work. I didn't press the 4 key. The 4 key is the one that actually sets up the bind. So if I add, okay, now it's in debug mode. Let's remove the breakpoints just to see if I am correct or not. So in the listener, we had one breakpoint. We removed one. And we had one in notify tag changed. So the event dispatcher needs to be bound first. So if I press 1, we add a dead, it might be difficult to see, we add a dead state tag here. Pressing 4 now means that we have bound the event. So now if we add something, we should get, yes, dead changed, and we get the new stack amount. Pressing 3 reduces the stack and we see dead changed, dead changed. So every time that we're adding or removing a tag now, we're getting that the event, once we have bound it here, of course, we'll type out dead changed here now. This allows us to have any class that we want to just hook up easily to a tag and say, when this tag is changed in somehow, I can then have some logic to determine if I want to react in a certain way. It can be anything like you put an ability, or let's say, actually, let's get back to this later on. It might be easier when we have a little bit more stuff in place. But this might be a good place to stop for now, and I'll hope to see you in the next episode. Hopefully you found this video helpful.
Now we have all of that, at least. Now we can actually do the things that we were supposed to do from the beginning. Because now we have tags and shit. Fuck the... No, I have aired the wine enough. Skål då för fan! Skål då för fan! Tisdagsvin. Well, we need to see how it sticks to the glass. Smooth. It's like butter almost.
If you liked the video, leave a like. If you did not like it, leave a dislike. Leave any suggestions or comments you have down below. Subscribe and share this video if you want to see more like it in the future. That is all for now. Keep on learning. Take care. Before we continue with the video, if you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Welcome back to my RPG series. Now, in the last episode, we were starting to discuss what kind of a functionality you could have around listening for a gameplay tag, for example. That is what we will be building upon today. So today we will actually be creating experience points. And how we will do this is, first we go to RPG and we say we want to create a new folder. We call this XP and we will go into it. So we want to have some ability to say something that dies, some ability to say, and we say we want to create a new folder. We call this XP and we will go into it. So we want to have some ability to say something that dies should award experience points to whoever killed it. And to do that, we're going to be encapsulating the functionality in a component. So we will be doing like before, we go to blueprint and we say add an active component. We'll call this BPC_XP. So this is our experience points component.
Wait, didn't I already make this?
Immediately go to our character and
boom. Let's do that.
say BPC_XP and add that component to our character because experience is of interest for him. Going back to our folder here, we open up the
Wait, who?
immediately go to our character and say BPC_XP and add that component to our character because experience is of interest for him. Going back to our folder here, we open up the BPC_XP and remove the tick. And here we can say that when something is dead, that is the point when we want to award some experience points. So a blueprint component belongs to an actor. So if this is a character that dies, and by character I mean just an object in the world, an actor. It could be like a pawn controlled by an AI, it could be a player, it could be an actor in the world that for some other reason awards XP or something like that. You can add this component to that thing and it would be able to award experience points. So to do that, you go and first find out who this is. So we type in get owner. This gives us the actor object of whoever has this component on it. Then we can say that we want to get component by class, and we can now choose our gameplay BPC gameplay tags component. And the reason we choose this is because we can now drag out from that one and say add listener, like so. And here we can now choose to listen to the dead tag. So whenever the dead tag happens, essentially this thing dies, then we can react upon it. Now you might be thinking, why don't we do this by hooking onto the damage taken event or something like that? Well, you might be able to get this tag in a different way. Maybe there's a spell that instantly kills you but doesn't deal damage, or a rock that falls upon you that doesn't do damage but instantly kills you, or something like that. A different form that can potentially kill you, and yet we want it to be able to react to it. So that's why we're listening to the actual state instead. So we'll drag off the event, we'll choose an add event, add custom event, and we'll say dead state updated, because that's what's happened at this point.
Bah!
Then we know
Fuck you!
we have...
Hold on. Fucking autosave, fuck me. Update. Let's go with that.
Have here a context, we can break this. And this is the information that we have in here. Among this, what we're going to be getting back here is active tags. Active tags is supposed to be a gameplay tag container, so we can say has tag to compare if it has a specific tag in it. Since we don't know if this is a dead tag being added or removed, we need to check if it still has the tag at this point when we're getting notified of it. So adding a branch, we can now validate against this. So if it has that tag, then we can do something here. So we want to know whoever killed us, we want to say you should be getting some experience points. So first off, we can make a variable. We can say XP to award. That's not how we spell XP. Like so. That's not how we spell XP either. Actually it is. Never mind. And we want this to be something like an integer, I suppose, a whole value. So we'll choose, or should we have a float?
Are you doing no, not November? No. It's stupid. It's stupid. If anything, one can at least do FAP-free February, because that just is a challenge for you to stop masturbating and then go ham on, hey, get over here, let's beat the drum, let's park the car, let's or park the bus would probably be better. Let's go dungeon dwelling. Let's cheat the sword. Let's intersect the two universes. I don't know. Are we doing non-stop not November? Yes! I'll rather do how many times can I nut in the whole November challenge. How about that? How many times can you catch me live? Nothing. How about that? That would be a challenge. And if you correct the right amount, you might get a reward. It's getting a little bit hot here. Mamma mia. Mamma mia. It's the wine. And talking about nuts, I'm getting flustered. I'm getting all flustered here.
Let's choose a float.
There do float, yeah.
So we have
No,
a float
what?
here.
You did a
That's the
float?
amount of
Okay.
XP that we should be awarding. It's currently set to default 0, and that is fine.
What was the reasoning for the float?
Let's choose a float. We have a whole value. So we'll choose, or should we have a float? Let's choose a float.
I prefer floats.
So we have a float here, and that's the amount of XP that we should be awarding. It's currently set to default 0, and that is fine. The thing is, now we have this part here where we're breaking out this context, but we're not actually filling this in any point. And that's what we need to go and fix first. So going back to our gameplay tags and going back to our adding tag. At this point, we have our tag and our origin, but we don't have the last part, which is our active tags. We do know that we have this common bit of code that is notify tag change that is going to be called both for add tag and remove tag. So going in here, this might actually be a good point for us to create this information. So what we'll do is, before we actually do anything else here, we'll determine what kind of a context we have here. Just a helper function, essentially. So we'll say create context.
Create context.
Now, this context won't have a lot of functionality and not a lot of information, but what it will do is, since we have the information of a context tag, we'll add that here as an input, and we'll make sure that it is of a gameplay tag, and that is what it is. Good. We also know that we want to have an origin, which is what we had before, so that's an s_origin structure, and we'll call that origin. And from here we can also type return to get a node, and what we want to have back here is s gameplay tag context, or s gameplay context is what we called it, and we'll call it gameplay context. Dragging out from that, we can now choose make gameplay context, which exposes all the information that we need to know or send. So we'll hook up our context tag. We'll can now choose make gameplay text. Dragging out from that, we can now choose make gameplay context, which
Adds a node that creates a S gameplay context from its members.
which exposes all the information that we need to know or send. So we'll hook up our context tag, we'll hook up our origin, and we'll drag out our active tags over here, and we'll hook it together like so.
Only exactly matching structures are considered compatible. What do you mean?
All the information that we need to know or send. So we'll hook up our context tag, we'll hook up our origin, and we'll drag out our active tags over here.
The fuck is this then? What do you mean with constraint instance accessor structure? Only exactly matching structures are considered compatible. Okay. What the fuck do you mean with that? It's not like origin.
Here, play context. Dragging out from that, we can now choose make. Dragging out from that, we can now choose make gameplay context, which exposes all the information that we need to know or send. So we'll hook up our context tag, we'll hook up our origin, and we'll drag out our active tags over here, and we'll
Oh.
context tag. We'll hook up our origin and we'll drag out our active tag over here and we'll hook it together like so. And now we have the functionality of creating a context essentially. We compile and save, we go back. In our notified tag changed, we now call on our
Save all, please.
create context. We'll hook it up like so. The tag to listen for is the context tag. And go back. In our notified tag changed, we now call on our create context. We'll hook it up like so. The tag to listen for is the context tag. And we don't have an origin in here. So we'll drag out from origin and drag it to the notified tag changed. Like so. And to make this a little bit cleaner, we can also move this up here so we can see that this node is going here. And we'll hook this up like so. And now that we have added origin here, we can compile, save, and go back again, and we get to the notify change now. Now we're in the remove tag function, or I am at least.
Hey! Let's see if I got my shittimajing. Let's see. End sleep session. Hello? No. Start now. Wait a minute. It counted as for sleeping today, okay. Never mind. Well done. Then I should get a, what's it called? A premium cracker. Premium biscuit. You keep sleeping! Relax! Oh, Dudu! Dodo! Nasty Wobbuffet. Zuru Voodoo! I probably won't. I mean, I need to. There's a. Ah, it was a Swablu! Bam, bam, bam. See who's hungry. Yes, Swablu! I think I want a Swablu. Question is, I need to check if is can you save the premium poke biscuit? But if I nap during the day and get my daily biscuit, can I just save it for when I sleep at night and use it in the morning? And if there are no Pokemon I want, can I save the biscuit until tomorrow and use 2 bonus? There is a way to get 1 bonus biscuit if you don't care about research for all your sleep sessions. You do this by logging 1.5 of nap, first session of sleep time, and not actually sleeping, which would give you some energy back and gets you an extra biscuit tomorrow. Then you sleep just like normal for at night. The second day you will get a bonus biscuit and an additional one from yesterday. Huh? I took a nap and skipped through it. It gave it to a random Pokemon that wasn't hungry. They don't stack up, so they disappear when you don't use them, sadly. Okay. That's not really what I'm asking, though. But I guess I can use a... Great biscuit instead. And I got a Schwabler! Yay! And then I can use the Poke Biscuit on something else. Maybe the Duo. Oh! It critted! Easy! Okay. Cool! 2 Pokemons on a nap. Oh, so much candy, holy hell. I should have a screen, like I mean I can. Okay. This one is a Jolly. The fuck does that mean? No. It means that it is... Oh! Buster Yellow. XP gain and ingredient finding. I basically got all of... This wasn't what it's ass. It gets ingredient finder, and recover bonus, and dream shot bonus. That's so bad. That one goes straight to the grinder. Adamant? That's ingredient finder, I think. That's not good. Speed help! Oh! No, fuck! This one is bad too. This one is a berry specialist. So you don't want to have ingredient finder on it. It gets a sleep bonus exp as its first. And ingredient finder M. The nature is good, but its skills are not good. But maybe I can use it as a sleep exp thingamajig. So it can help out with leveling up other Pokemons. So, sort of useful. The speed help is probably what's good with it. There's one more thing. Yeah, I would want to check the frequency. Oh, fuck. Its frequency is 56 minutes, which is pretty good. I'm the only one knowing about this. It's fun. It's idling Pokemon.
You can see that we have origin over here. We also have origin over here. Now we get to the notify change now. Now we're in the remove tag function, or I am at least.
Am I? Remove tag.
You can see that we have origin over here. We also have origin over here. Now we could drag this way over here if we wanted to, but we don't need to. Since this is an input, we can just type in here, get origin, and this will be whatever value is coming in from here actually. So we'll just hook it up like so and have a little bit less of a mess here. Compile and save, going to add tag, we're going to be doing the same thing. So get origin, like so, and that should be that. So now we know that whatever information we're getting into this functionality, we're actually sending away. The important part now is to make sure that all the ones that are actually adding tags are sending this information themselves. So in our case, we have the ability here to add the tag and the ability over here to remove the tag. So in these cases, we want to make sure that we are also sending the information here. So in this case, we have a third-person character. That would be the actor that is adding the tag in this case.
Alright, for the sake of cleanness, I guess I do this then. Make self.
And the controller here is the instigator controller. So of this actor, this is the instigator controller, meaning essentially who is causing this to do something, essentially. Doing the same thing over here for the removing, like so. We have now managed to send this information further. And this is a part that is going to be needed for all the different codes that want to have an effect on removing and adding tags, of course, if you want to have the information be available for later down the road. So, going back to our blueprint component XP now. We now know that we're sending out the information here from the origin, which contains the information that we need. Because if we break this and we do it like so, we now have a controller over here. And the controller is the one who caused us to die. So the controller is the one who should be getting XP. But the controller itself doesn't have XP. So what we do is we first of all check if it is valid. Not like so. We want to have the valid with the question mark because that one gives us a execution node immediately. So if it is that we're dead and the controller is valid, then we want to get the controlled pawn of this controller. So whatever it is controlling. And that one we want to get the component by class from. And the class we want to get is the DPC XP, because that is where we're actually storing experience points. And then we want to say this one should get some experience points. But we don't have any functionality to actually give experience points yet. So let's add that. going to our event graph, for example. Open graph. Okay, I'm already here. Let's do a custom event. So type in custom event, call it award XP. So this is the function that you call on when you want to award experience points. And what it takes as an input would be a float value, which would be the awarded XP. File and save. So we need to have some XP added to the XP now. So we create another variable. We call it current XP. Let's be consistent and have a big P there. Like so. We drag this out. And we say we want to add whatever value is coming in as awarded XP to be our XP. And then we want to set the new value to be what that mathematical result would be. Like so. And now we have awarded that XP, essentially. But we haven't called upon it yet. So we'll go over here back again at the graph where we were. And we say that onValid, meaning that this is an actor that has the XP component. We probably want to have a valid check here as well, actually. So we can now say award XP. And the value here,
because I can't do that from here.
I can. Award is of course the variable that we have for XP to award, like so. And there we have it. The first opportunity to award some functionality, in this case XP, to the result of a tag being changed. So let's see if this works. To make this easier, we'll expose our current XP so we can see what it is in runtime.
In
the editor, and we'll have it for 0 to begin with, so we know that that is what the current XP to start with is. We'll say that award to the XP amount to award would be 100. Compile, which means that in this case we don't have a lot of different characters and actors to interact with, so we will just be adding the dead tag ourselves to ourselves, and hopefully then that means that it should be awarding 100 XP to ourselves, which we then can see. So let's see if that works. We go in here, we bind event on dead just to see that it will happen. We add the stack, and now we should be able to
extra, sure.
The current XP to start with is. We'll say that award to the XP amount to award would be 100. Compile, which means that in this case we don't have a lot of different characters and actors to interact with, so we will just be adding
oh fuck me
the dead tag ourselves to ourselves, and hopefully then that means that it should be awarding 100 XP to ourselves, which we then can see. So let's see if that works. We go in here, we bind event on dead just to see that it will happen. We add the stack, and now we should be able to go and check our character, and we should be able to find I can't see it.
I assume that you have to. My guess is going to be that it has to be. I don't know. Well, it is instance. This is what I wanted to see. So like it. Yeah. Okay. So clicking on this activates this. Because you need to click on the BPC component. That's why. I'll show you. 4. That changed. Oh, fuck. Well, I can probably do it. If I now find parent. No. Lure. Character child. This should still work. And then I need to click on the BBC Exp. No, it did not change. Okay. Unless... Okay, let's see what he says.
I guess we'll have to go to the code itself. Award 100, current XP 0. Okay, so that didn't work. Let's debug this and see what happened. So let's go to our dead state update here, see if this is actually being called. We don't actually...
Oh, fuck! Was it this one?
To our dead state update.
Let's see if I can figure this out. XP to award 99. Just fuck around and find out, yeah. Because when the state update is happening, this should happen. Let's see if this actually happens at all. No, it doesn't. Oh, because we also have to put ourselves in the state. No tag. So there is something. Let's just go backwards. So somewhere we're not valid. Is this something with the actor? Wait, did we do this? Okay. We need this. Okay. Hashtag. So I'm considered. It feels like something has to be here, but we'll see what he says.
Update here, see if this is actually being called. We don't actually, I bound this event over here to get this text to type, but we don't need to do that. That was just to see that it was happening.
Okay.
This one should be binding it on the beginning. So let's play, and we type, press 1 to add a tag. we check against our tag container, it says it does not contain the tag state dead.
So that should be state dead.
So let's see why that is, because that should not be true. We need to go back further. We need to go back to our where we're sending our information, which is the notified change state. So we'll add a breakpoint over here.
So that happens. And then does this happen? Does? Is it this? Bro, fuck off! Hey! I found it! Do I need to do that in the other one as well then? Let's see, this is in the notify, and here we're creating the context, and then we call it here, and then we need to I don't know, I think that's, we need to do something here. No, I think that should be it.
Play, we add a tag. Notify change state says that we have a tag to listen for that state dead, and the origin is player controller and third person character, which all seems fine. Of course, the gameplay context that we created over here, we're not actually sending in our event dispatcher. This is a problem. We of course need to send the information as well. So we'll drag it up a little bit, make it a little bit more disconnected like so. Let's try this again. We'll add it, we'll resume from here, we'll get over here. It checks, it says that it does now contain the tag. And let's resume and see what happens if we now check our character. Third person character, we go to our blueprint component and we can see that our current XP is now 100. So we have been able to award ourselves 100 for killing ourselves essentially. So good job on that. I think this is a good place to stop. So let's do that, and I hope to see you in the next episode.
Cool.
Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you did not like it, leave a dislike. Before we continue with the video, if you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Welcome back to my RPG.
So I think that this will be this last one we will do, because then this one is complete now. Marcus card is done, and can you like do sub cards from a card, perhaps? I could have made a deck that's called leveling system, and then within that I could have had cards that is related to the leveling systems. I think that I would like that more, maybe. Should we play a horror game later? It's Halloween after all. Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! What game should we play then? Maybe we take a small little break and maybe can... Oh, we can look through the discovery queue. Just to chill a little bit. Slay the Princess. Psychological horror. Visual novel. Is it sexual content? Dark humor. I can fix her. Bruh, my friends played a game that is really fucking whack. It's there's a fucking incest in it. It's real whack. Like, I don't know if it's a complete incest, but maybe step bro, step sis kind of thing. Ark can go fuck itself. It's... Wait, is this from... Wait, it already has 17,000 reviews. Look, I have to be brutally honest with this review. Coming from ASC with 4,000 hours, I can safely say it was a game I was in love with for quite some time. It goes down as an all-time great for me in online and multiplayer games. Although it had its bugs and issues, the community and the half-dozen maps kept this game thriving for 7 years, even though the initial problem. Here's where I feel a little cheated. This game may have the name Ark Survival on it, but it's a shell of its former self. The graphical upgrades are a small achievement on an otherwise stripped-back version of the original game we love. By the way, don't bother playing this game if you don't have at least a high 3000 series Nvidia card or equivalent. Okay, so performance issues. Don't scream. I've seen this so much. The thing is, I would have loved to play this game, but I'm not willing to pay. I mean, 8 years is not much, but still, this is like a... if you complete it from start to finish, it's like a 20-minute game. And it's also that it's just a bunch of jump scares. Like screamers and shit. So I'm not entirely... Okay, we have to see the reviews on this. Mixed. Okay, it's not too bad then. Some are positive. I'd rather buy WinRAR. Okay, dude. Lethal Company. A co-op horror about scavenging at abandoned moons to sell scrap to the company. Okay. At this stage, I'm confident you will have a good time with the Lethal Company, but there are still many ideas and features I have in mind. I also need your feedback to help tune the game's difficulty and balance. Lethal Company is finished, but still far from realizing its potential. Okay, I'll keep that in my wishlist. Maybe that's something I can play with My bro. The fuck is this walking animations? Heart of Iron. Humanit. Co-op isometric open world survival game in a world ended by the zombie outbreak. As one of the few human survivors, try to last as long as humanly possible. The past can be changed, but you can't be changed, but you can make a difference today for the future of humanity. So is it like a roguelike? I guess you can make it into like hardcore. Okay. Party animals. Oh yeah. I have this on my wishlist already. Not this one actually. I can add this. Could buy the package for discount. Sunken Land. Get ready for a Waterworld themed survival game with modular base building, sunken city scavenging, crafting, base defense, and invasion of NPC clans for resources and territory. Ready for the water apocalypse? That sounds really cool. Sounds like Subnautica. Or looks like Subnautica as well. A mix of Subnautica and Raft, it looks like. Jesus Christ. Not too bad, 20 euros. Release in August, okay. As an early access though. That's pretty cool. That's something that could be checked out. Let's do another one. Lunasid. Overwhelmingly. What the fuck? It released today? Where is this? Lunasid is a first-person dungeon crawler inspired by old From Software games like Shadow Tower and King's Field. Okay. The old From Software games.
Long ago, a great beast came from the sea.
He came!
And brought with it a poisonous fog that spread across the earth. Corrupting everything it reached, the poison fog slowly transformed the world and brought about a new age.
Cool. Videotapes and crows. Interesting. What do they say about it? Finally! King's Field's like. Lunacy doesn't hold your hand. It holds your shin while it slaps you across the face with its big fat aesthetics, then kisses you better kisses you better with classic dungeon crawling gameplay. Jesus Christ. Okay, my dude. I've seen this name. I think it... Have I seen it on Game Pass, maybe? Yeah, here. Bruh. Oh! Headbanger! War Tales. What is Jusant? Enjoy meditative vibes in Jusant, an action puzzle climbing game. Scale an immeasurable tall tower and ascend to new heights alongside your watery companion. Master your climbing tools, find your way up through diverse biomes, and piece together the tower's past. So it's like a feel-good game. Interdasting. Well, we have it on Game Pass. Ghost Runner 2.
Hello, Jack. We need you again.
What the fuck? Gravity? Metal Gear. Cool. Cool shit. Oh, here it is. This is the fucked up game. Walk and talk adventure with light puzzling. Brother and sister practice cannibalism after witnessing a botched satanic ritual. And that's not all. There is is the top review gonna be I Can Fix Her Too? Or somewhere. This is what the Una Bomber wanted to stop. I'll ask my sister out if this gets 100 likes. I am one of the thousand of people that suffer from a rare condition. I am down horrendous for dark-haired, mentally ill woman that would ruin my life. This is my cross to bear, but this game brings light to our shared plight. Sex. Hot sibling having sex, hot siblings having sex, hot siblings having sex. Thank you, Twitter freaks. If it wasn't for you crying about this game, I wouldn't have found this and even bought it while enjoying every second of playtime I had on it. Yeah, like, if you don't want fucked up shit that you don't like to be exposed and whatnot, don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it. Like, you can discuss why you don't like it, but if you're gonna be so crazy about, here is this game, don't play this game, don't do this, don't do that, then people are gonna fucking look it up and then they will fucking play it out of spite. And then they will figure out that, oh, it's not as bad as you say it is. Suicide Squad. Why do I get car games? Fuck off. El Paso elsewhere.
Pounding in your head's a motherfucker looking for the brainless sucker dark thing.
You can say that.
Mirror. The rupture is demanding, gun flash commanding. Get on your knees and break shit. Sear the flesh. Burning eyes.
Oh, I saw Lyric play this.
Claw the breach. Clear your brain. Love the leash. Break shit, kill people, break shit, kill people, break shit, kill people, break shit.
Killbreaker.
Break shit, kill people, break shit.
Killbreaker bullshit.
Break shit. Wood and stone, flesh and bone. Wood and stone and flesh. Fuck.
Super cool presentation. I love the trailer. I love the rapping too. Sands of Aura. Souls like a dungeon crawler.
You must understand.
No! I must not. Shut up.
We have suffered. Faced the corruption, ruin, and death.
Shashu? So good.
But we have also experienced beauty. Kindness, union, and ingenuity. Yet there is much left to be discovered. You can sense it. Remnants of the old world. The last echoes of their legacy. And the shadow of their mistakes. Many before us have fallen.
Oh no.
But if our souls remain solid,
Oh, souls! Dark souls.
and if we look beyond ourselves, we could overcome the darkness. Maybe together.
Companion?
We'll find something here worth saving.
Cool. I kind of recognize that boat. I've seen someone post a lot on LinkedIn about a boat that flies around and can jump on mushrooms and stuff. Kind of looked very similar. Do 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 do. Life is plastic. It's fantastic. uh, 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 uh. Oh, fuck me. Two more in this queue. Trains! Little goody two shoes. What the fuck? Let's make sure that this is not sexual. Cute horror game.
A long, long time ago, there was a lass whose fate was led by a pair of ruby red shoes and a burning desire for everlasting fortune. But fate had other plans for her. Meet the young hero of our story, Elise, and follow her daily life in the remote town of Kieferberg. Forced to be a maid of all work for the town's old crones, she dreams of the day she can make her fortune and escape. Luckily, Elise has her dearest friends by her side. And for one of them, those feelings run deeper. Yet at nightfall, not all is as it seems.
Weeb game.
The woods beckon her to face her fears and attain her dream.
I don't know, I kind of spaced out. I don't really understand what the game is. Besides some mini games here and there. And then you're a cute girl walking around. Okay. Cool for you. Let's go! Continue! Level up time.
Series. In this episode, we will continue to build upon our XP component, and we will be adding the functionality of leveling up. So let's start with opening that one up. So here is where we left it off the last time, and what we want to do now is we want to have the ability to, when we accumulate enough experience, we want to have our character level up. Now, the point where that makes the most sense is most likely directly after having awarded our XP. So let's actually create a function for this to begin with. So we'll make a function and we'll say try to level up. The reason we call it this is because we will call it all the time over here, so we can even start doing it right now. And this will handle whatever will happen if we actually do level up. So in essence, this will be called all the time we have an XP change, but it doesn't always level us up. So inside of this, we will have our logic to determine if we are leveling up and what we will do about it. So to begin with, we want to have some sort of determination of have we reached enough experience points to level up. How do we determine that? We need to have some way of comparing our current XP level against some other value to see if we have leveled up or not.
Here's where I would like to have structs, so I can like do stuff in spreadsheets, and balance and shit and that like that.
This can be done in a multitude of ways, of course, but I think a good way to do this would be to have a curve so that we have that one driving whatever values we need to level up. What I mean with this is if we start off creating a variable and we call this, let's call it level curve, and we'll make it of the type float curve. Most of you should probably be aware of how this works. If you do not, I have a tutorial on curves, so you can get more acquainted about that if you need to. I will leave a description in. I will leave a link in the description as well. But essentially, if we have a level curve like we have now, we have a float curve here we can select, but we haven't actually created a curve. So going to our BP XP folder here.
Actually, let's just double check that we actually get the same thing.
Let's call it level curve. And we'll make it of the type float curve. Most of you should probably be aware of how this works. If you
Object reference. Curve float. Object reference. Good. Good.
We have a tutorial on curves, so you can get more acquainted about that if you need to. I will leave a description in. I will leave a link in the description as well. But essentially, if we have a level curve like we have now, we have a float curve here we can select, but we haven't actually created a curve.
I'm just gonna open this here and see what there is here. Let's see if there is something called curve. Ska du till CC 88120 at Circles Tour on 4th of November? CC? What is CC? Comic Con. I don't know. I didn't even know about it. We'll see. What is 4th? It's on a Saturday. There is beer. Well, then it's settled. Then it's settled. We'll see if I have time. Curve. There's nothing here. Curve. Hep. Well, here's the inventory. That's something that we can look into later at some point as well. There's crafting too. Mamma mia, this guy has everything. At Sergel's toy. Just at the toy, not in like in a venue. Isn't Sergel's toy at plattan?
So going to our BP XP folder here, we can now right click and we can go, and I do believe we find it under miscellaneous. Yes, here, curve. And we choose float curve and we can
curve.
call this C for curve, and then we can call it level or something like that. Opening this up, this is what we're presented with. Now, a curve is essentially one axis that represents time, one axis that represents a value of something in accordance with that time, but it doesn't need to be that. You can have the axis be whatever you want them to be. In this case, we can actually do the following. We can consider the time axis, the one going left to right, to be our level. And we can consider our vertical axis to be whatever experience points we need to reach that level. So, assuming that we have a leveling system where we start at level 1, then we would want to have a key over here at 1. So now it ended up at 1. If you don't get exactly 1.0 here, you can just fill that in. And then we'll have 0 as our starting XP. So that's like makes sense, right? Next up, we have level 2. So level 2, we would create a... Then we would want to have a key over here at 1. So now it ended up at 1. If you don't get exactly 1.0 here, you can just fill that in. And then we'll have 0 as our starting XP. So that's like makes sense, right? Next
True.
up, we have level 2. So level 2 we would create another key for. It ended up on 2 exactly. And then as a value we can say maybe we need 150 XP. And now you can see that we get a very sharp angle for this. Now let's see, where is it? Is it zoom to fit? That's not what I want. What you can do is if you hold down Control and press A, I think it should mark all of them. Yes. So now when then as a value we can say maybe we need 150 XP. And now you can see that we get a very sharp angle for this. Now let's see, where is it? Is it zoom to fit? That's not what I want. What you can do is if you hold down Control and press A, I think it should mark all of them. Yes. So now when we zoom to fit, you'll see the whole curve essentially, which works to begin with. You can also scroll out and in with your mouse wheel to zoom in and out. In addition to the point at level 2, we'll just create a curve for, let's say, 5 levels, just so we have something. So at level 3, we'll create another key. We'll say we need...
This is very unintuitive, I would say, but that's fine.
Need 400 XP. And then after that, let's say we create one at level 4. And we'll add a value of, let's say, 1000. And then let's zoom out a little bit more, go to level 5, which would be here, add a key, and for that one we add the value 5000. Now Control A to mark all the points and then zoom to fit. This is now our leveling curve. So we can now make use of and check against if we are at level 1, and then we check our experience and we can check, have we reached this point of experience to or have we reached this point of experience? If we have, then we have essentially leveled up. So saving this is what we will be making use of for our XP. So in level curve here we will now choose C level, like so.
Okay.
Here we now want to have that logic being run, determining if we have leveled up. And then after that, if we have leveled up, we want to have a branch to determine if we have leveled up and act in one way. And if we haven't leveled up, we're basically done here. So here we can add a return node immediately, actually. Return. So what do we do here? Well, we can create a function for this. Let's create a function and we can call it level up question. Excuse me. Level up question mark. And in this, we're going to have a very simple amount of code, actually. First, we're going to check, based on our current level, if we have reached max level. Now, we made a curve for 5 levels. So let's create some variables for this. We can have one that says current level, which is the level that we will be using to inform the system what level we are. We will make it of a type integer. We will say that the default current value will always be 1 to begin with. We can say we can create another variable for max level. So this is the level cap essentially of the game. We can set that one to 5, so it matches our current leveling curve. So we essentially want to do this. We get the current level, we want to check, is this current level the same as the max level? And if it is true, then we know we have reached max level. We're not interested in actually leveling up anymore, so we'll just hit a return. And we want to have a determination here if we have leveled up or not in the try to level up function.
Hold on.
Here, if we have, and we want to have a determination here if we have leveled up or not in the try to level up function. So what we'll do is we will add a return node, a return parameter, and we'll call this leveled up. And in this case we are at max level, so we won't level up. So that's all good and fine. Other than that, we now want to make use of our level curve. So how do we do this? We have our current level, and we want to check if we have reached the cap for the next level. So we can add 1 to this, means that we will be checking against the next level after the current level that we have. We can then take our level curve, like so, and we can say get float value, since this is a float curve, and our time interval that we're checking is actually our level, so that's why we're hooking that up like that, and it will be truncated and turned into an, actually it won't be truncated, it will be converted from an integer to a float. And this value we now want to compare against our current XP, because our current XP is showing how much XP we have, and we need to check and see if we have surpassed this amount. So we check current XP greater or equal than whatever we're needing for the next level up. And we check a branch, hook it up like so. If it is true, then we have determined that we are actually leveling up. So we'll take our current level and we'll type in ++ to increment it with the macro. So that will increase it 1, and then we'll have a return node and we'll say we have leveled up. If it did not, then we have actually another return node here for false, saying that we did not level up. Now going up back to our try to level up function, we can now use
Stopp och belägg. Return. And return. So it was that if the current letter gets ++ed, it will level up, otherwise it will not.
Level up. Now going up back to our try to level up function, we can now use this function like so. Hook it up here. And we can now start writing code for our leveling up process, essentially. So what do we want to do here? Well, one thing we for sure want to do is to check if we have gotten so much experience that we have leveled up multiple times. To first have some debugging to see if we actually do level up, we'll put in a print here saying that we leveled up.
Ding, ding, ding.
Like so. After that, we will make this recursive, and recursive means we have a function that actually calls upon itself. So we will call on try to level up after this, and then we will return.
Right.
So
Bada bing, bada boom.
So this means, if you're not familiar with recursiveness, that it will be called here, it will try to level up. If it did level up, it will print level up. Then it will call try to level up again, which will be going in here. Then it will try to level up again. If it is not able, for example, it will go through here, it will return, it will come back to where it was here last time and return here, and then it's done. However, if it came here, leveled up once, comes back to call it itself again, levels up again, it goes through the same procedure again, and essentially it digs itself deeper and deeper in levels of function calls until it doesn't level up anymore, and then it starts to return from all of the different layers. Using recursive functions can be very dangerous. It's very easy to create something that's infinite. So you need to make sure that you're have proper exit conditions, and it is usually good to have some kind of fail-safe in case you do something wrong, just to make sure you don't end up in an infinite loop or something like that. But yeah, so this is essentially our level up code now done. We compile, we save. Going back to our event graph now, we can see that we have our function here, which we will be trying to level up with. And that should probably be all the functionality that we need right now. Let's put in some debugging information to see if this is actually working. We go to our third person character. We will add another event or input. We'll type in keyboard 5. And we'll say that we want to take the BBC XP. And we will simulate that we will be getting experience points now here. So we will type in award XP, which is the function that is called whenever you try to give someone XP. And we'll type in a value of, let's say, 100. Going back to our third person character, 100. Going back to our third person character and going into full screen, and in the top left right now, if I press the 5 key right now, we get 100 XP and nothing happens because our first level up was at 150, I believe. So if pressing it again, we can see that we get a level up. And then
Is that true? Boom. Ding ding ding. Ding ding ding. Ding ding ding. This is gonna take a while. Ding ding ding. Cool.
they will get another level up, and then the level ups will become less and less frequent because we had higher values between the different levels the further we went up. And now I think we have leveled up 4 times and we're actually at max level. We could actually check this and see, going to our third person character, XP, we can see that we're at 5,600 experience right now. So the functionality seems to be working. So let's try out and see if our double or multiple level ups actually works. So we'll stop this and we'll make sure to go to our third person character and award enough experience points so that we will level up multiple times. So let's say we do 1,000. Compile, save, run, and full screen mode, and then we press 5. You can see we leveled up 3 times. So that seems to work also. So the idea here is essentially that in this area here is where we would be handling whatever logic we need to handle when we level up. Now this depends from game to game, of course. Some games you maybe get some flashy special effects of having leveled up. In other games you might have the game pause and have like a option of talent choices or something like that appearing. And for others it might just be like a notification being sent up, and then you have to go to a character screen and then you can allocate resources or something like that. But yeah, so this is essentially where we would be handling all of the communicating to the player that it has leveled up essentially. I think that's a good spot to stop for today. I hope to see you in the next episode. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you did not like it, leave a dislike. Leave any suggestions or comments you have down below. Subscribe and share this video if you want to see more like it in the future. That is all for now. Keep on learning. Take care.
Bro, I can dig deep into this fucking series. Because I want to use this for my card RPG game at some point. Combine his card widget game with this. Cool. Then we have the functionality done. Then it's a matter of let's just, I'm gonna copy paste this, and then we go into codecs, and then we now say that creating level system is done. It's done. And we can create polish XP research and continue from here. Whatever. It's good. That is all good. Let's call that for today on that. What I was thinking was that I don't know if there's gonna be kids here knocking on the door, but I bought candy. So we could have a little cozy session where I package some candy for possible kids, to give them candy if they ask me for trick or treat. So I'm gonna see here if I can set up my phone. Let's see. Nu jävlar. I do believe I have the IRL setup. IRL. Scene still here. Let's see. IRL Pro. Let's see. Flip. Can't connect the server. Nande. I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. Oh, I need to change so that I do it from the Wi-Fi. Connections. Now do it IRL home. Boom. That should work. And then I flip it. And now I'm streaming. And now I'm streaming. Works! Still like that. Works! Like that. All right. All right. So now I just mute the microphone here. Let me get the tripods set up. På er. Aj, fuck. Boom. So what I'll do is I'm gonna sit here. Okay, Google. Tänd lamporna.
Ja, visst, tänder 3 lampor.
I mean, it's good enough light for the phone. So let's also... I'll probably expose myself with how fucking dirty my place is. That's fine. Let's change the title. Cozy IRL. Cozy Halloween. Packaging.